Hi, so welcome to my journey of starting a new business and trying to document it on YouTube. I thought it would be helpful for others who are like me that get stuck on perfectionism to try to help you, or at least to tell you how I got through my analysis paralysis in every step of the way. And I'll be honest with you, I haven't even set up my website yet, so I'm still stuck in my analysis paralysis, but I've made a lot of progress, and it's thanks to a lot of people that have been really supportive of me. Mike ATSM, Dismages, Rybeats on Instagram, y'all have been incredibly helpful. Some folks that I met at Impressions Expo earlier this year. And also Brandon, Big Brando is his Big Brando HTV. No, Big Brando TV. Sorry, HTV is what I said in my head. But no, it's BRANDOH TV. He has a wonderful series on starting your business from scratch. I won't be going over the things that he goes over because he did an excellent job and I can't beat that. But I do want to focus on a part of what his video was on and what my experience was like with it. So let's get started. And I have notes here, so forgive me if I look down. Okay, so like I said, he has a couple of playlists, and I recommend you watch all of them. One of them is, I want to say, taking your business legit or something along those lines. There's a lot of really good content on there. There's another series playlist that's called Starting from Scratch, where he starts a business from scratch. I think this is from that. I have a lot of notes that I would take because, like I said, I am an over preparer. So yeah, I think it's from the Starting from Scratch, and it's picking a name. He recommended that you choose something that means something to you, that fits your designs. My problem is that I'm not like a normal business owner in that I'm not doing this correctly. I'm gonna be straight up. I am not doing this correctly. This for me has been a hobby, foils, wax seals, etc. That I feel like I've either attained too much and I want to share some of it. And I know that giving it away is not the smartest thing. And also, I want to impart the knowledge that I've gained from watching a whole bunch of YouTube videos. And if I could simplify that in a way that people can find and then start doing it right away without having to watch 10 videos to figure out what they're doing wrong, I would really, really love to do that. I'm a super impatient person when it comes to YouTube videos. So even the amount of time that I spent in this intro is a little bit too much for me, but I do want to give a little bit of an explanation as to how my journey is going so far. I'm going to be talking a lot with my hands. I'm so sorry. And I'm making this a full frame video because I'm still kind of finding my groove in that sense. I've tried like half frame videos. I've tried up close videos. Those were not helpful for me. But okay. So getting back on topic, like I said, I don't have a business plan. My friend Red Letters Wax Seals, also on Instagram, is much smarter about this stuff than I am. And she's like, make a business plan. What are you going to make? What's going to be your design goals? What is all the things that you're supposed to be thinking of? I didn't have any of that. But I also knew that if I got started thinking about those things, I was never going to kick off what I needed to kick off in order to start making those decisions. So I needed to start off by making everything legit. People, no judgment on whether you choose that route or not. I just, for various reasons, needed to make everything legit. So my first issue, my first struggle, actually there was lots of struggles, but the one that I'm going to be talking about in this video is choosing a name. So like I said, Brandon said to choose something that means something to you, that fits with your designs. But like I said, I didn't have designs in mind quite yet. I didn't have my look, my feel. Generally, I know that I like things that are a little bit more, not mature, but just a little bit more fancy, if you will. So yeah, I got stuck in choosing a name. What helped me was narrowing it down enough where I was limited to certain things. So my Instagram handle is called Seals and Foils, and I had ordered a wax seal stamp that said S and F. And I thought, okay, if I can limit my search to two letters that start with S and F, then I can kind of go from there, right? So that is what I did. I started off by looking at the dictionary. I pulled up dictionary.com, looked at the S's, went through all the words. There were some that called out to me because they sounded pretty, but to be honest with you, I didn't know the meaning. I figured if I had to like look up a word, it wasn't the right fit for me. Now, some of you might ask, why didn't I just use Seals and Foils if I already had that Instagram name? And Don't get me wrong, I don't have a big following. I have maybe like 400 followers on YouTube. I've posted some shorts, and shorts are really easy to not go viral, but to get quite a few views. So I've got like 200,000 views, which sounds like a lot, but it's really not. If you post one short a day and it gets 2,000 views, and one view in a week will get 20,000 views, you'll get there in like 2 months, you know? So why didn't I choose seals and foils? This is gonna be the problem with this video, is that I'm gonna be rambling. I don't have an outline because again, I over prepare and I think too much about these things, right? So I just thought, let me just go off of what my notes said. My notes say seals and foils felt like too much of a hobby to me. And that's what it was. Seals and foils was very explanatory, self-explanatory. Seals for wax seals and foils for toner or reactive foil. And one of the things that my sister said when I was asking like opinions of the people that I care about, because it's the people that matter to me, that I value their opinion. What she said was, if you're going to be making invitations, seals and foils is not enough for people to know that, right? So she has her own business and she puts treats in there because that's her approach, that's her mentality, that's what is going to call attention to her business. But I wanted something a little bit different, so I didn't want to go with seals and foils. So again, there are a lot of words in the English dictionary, a lot of S's and F's. So you may not have the same limitations, but you could have a limitation of you like flowers, right? So you could Google search all the different types of flowers. You might like purple flowers because you know you're thinking at the same time, you're smarter than me, and you're thinking, what's my logo going to be? What is my packaging going to be? And you want to have that theme. Limiting yourself to a certain type of theme, group, whatever it may be, I think that would be really helpful for people. And it wasn't it was a couple of weeks for me till I kind of thought of that, limiting myself to S and F. So yeah, I just thought, why don't I make a quick video to throw it out there in case it helps anyone else. And the last thing that I want to say is, don't be afraid to ask for advice. I know some people, especially like when they're having kids, they don't want to share the names because they think that if someone gives them bad feedback, it's going to turn them off from that name. But at the end of the day, and Brandon's really good about saying this too, people are going to give you feedback. If it's constructive feedback, take it. It doesn't mean that you have to listen to it. It just means that you ask for someone's opinion, and that is their opinion based on their likes, based on what they think is best for you. They're just trying to do what's best for you, but you know what's best for you, right? So I had a couple of businesses that I ended up going with, a couple business names just for safety, because like I said, I prepare too much. But when it came down to deciding what the name for my Etsy was going to be, I had two in mind that I really liked. And I asked a couple people that, like I said, I value their opinion. So I just figured if I hear from them, they can tell me what to do, right? They can make the decision for me. But what I realized was they kept telling me what was really the smarter decision for me. It made sense in terms of what I was going to be using, what I was going to be selling, one of the things that I was going to be selling. And it was catchy and it was a little long, but generally it was cute. But it wasn't until I reached out to one person and they told me, their response was, I like this one. I don't know what it means, but I like it. And then I explained the meaning behind it and it made sense, right? So it does mean something. But at the same time, it wasn't because it was that one person that told me choose this name when everyone else was telling me not to. What it was that one person told me what I already wanted. That's the name that I knew I wanted from the beginning. And it took just having one person validate that for me, when in reality, I could have just done that myself. But I needed to hear back from people that I trusted to tell me yes or no. It wasn't until they kept telling me the wrong yes that I said, no, that's not it for me. So you know how they say, give someone, if you're really hungry and you want to make a choice on what to eat, give someone else the option of two things. If they respond with something and you're like, yes, that's what I want, then that's what you really wanted. And if they respond with something and you're like, I still want this other thing, that other thing is what you really wanted. So I don't know if any of this is making sense. It's like 7 o'clock in the afternoon and I'm trying to sneak in an English video just so that I could say that I could. But yeah, hopefully this helps someone. long story short, try to narrow down your field of concept, if you will, your theme for your name to one category, something that means something to you, and then go from there. I hope this helps. I imagine that it didn't, but I hope it helped someone. All right, have a wonderful weekend. See you next week. Okay, bye.